Picture this. You are sitting at the kitchen table, sharing your excitement about something new, hobby you have decided to pick up, or maybe even a small purchase you have been planning for weeks. Instead of the encouragement or support you were hoping for, your spouse looks at you and says, "Why would you even do that?" Or, worse, "You never think things through, do you?" It's just one comment, but it stings. And when these kinds of remarks happen repeatedly, they start to build up. You begin to doubt yourself, your choices, your judgment, and sometimes even your worth. This kind of belittlement is like a slow drip of water on stone. At first, it's just annoying, but over time, it wears you down. You lose confidence in your decisions and, worse, in yourself. And what makes it even harder, it's coming from someone close to you, someone whose opinion you have always valued. So, what do? How do you protect your inner peace and sense of self-worth when someone's words seem designed to tear you down? Do you fight back? Do you ignore it? Or is there a better way? That's where the timeless wisdom of Stoicism comes in. The Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus faced challenges just as personal and difficult in their time. Their teachings provide practical and powerful strategies to rise above negativity, protect your inner peace, and reclaim your confidence. When someone you care about, whether it's a parent, spouse, or anyone close, constantly diminishes your efforts or feelings, it can hurt deeply. These are the people whose words carry weight, making their criticism feel personal and even harder to ignore. It's not just about a passing comment or a fleeting moment of frustration. It's the constant erosion of your self-esteem over time. When you're continuously belittled, you start questioning your worth, your decisions, and even your right to feel the way you do. It's emotionally draining, and it can leave you feeling small, invisible, or unimportant, especially when it's someone you trust with your vulnerabilities. But Stoicism teaches us that the key to dealing with such situations isn't in changing them, but in strengthening yourself. The Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca believed that we cannot control the actions or opinions of others, but we can control how we respond. It's not about changing the person who belittles you, but about transforming your own mindset. Instead of allowing their words to dictate your emotions, Stoicism urges you to build resilience, detach from the need for external validation, and focus on your inner strength. By doing this, you reclaim your power and protect yourself from the sting of unnecessary criticism. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the understanding that not everything is within our control. This realization can be incredibly liberating, especially when it comes to dealing with constant belittlement. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, put it simply, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." This distinction is essential. The behavior of others, including their criticism or dismissive remarks, is beyond your control. You can't dictate how someone speaks to you, what they think of you, or how they choose to express their opinions. Their words and actions belong to them, not you. However, what is within your control is your response to their behavior. This is where the power lies. Instead of allowing their words to spark an emotional reaction, Stoicism teaches us to detach from the situation and choose how we react. When belittled, instead of becoming defensive, angry, or hurt, you have the opportunity to remain calm and unshaken. This doesn't mean you suppress your emotions or deny your feelings. It means you don't let them control your actions or state of mind. You rise above the situation. Imagine the power of not reacting in the heat of the moment. It's like standing in the middle of a storm, calm and unmoved, while everything around you swirls with negativity. That's the Stoic mindset, recognizing that the words of others cannot penetrate your inner peace unless you allow them to. By shifting your focus inward, you regain control over your emotional responses and protect your sense of self from external harm. Before we dive in, if you're ready to transform how you handle criticism and build inner strength, hit that subscribe button and join the journey to Stoic resilience. Let's talk about practical steps to handle belittlement. Step 1. Reframe their words. One of the most powerful tools in Stoic philosophy is the ability to reframe a situation, especially when it comes to belittling comments. When someone insults you or diminishes your efforts, it's easy to internalize their words and believe that they are a reflection of your value. But Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, offers us a profound piece of advice. Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. This quote embodies the Stoic principle that how we interpret events is what shapes our experience, not the events themselves. Belittling comments hold no power over you unless you assign value to them. When someone criticizes you, instead of seeing it as a personal attack, view it for what it really is, a reflection of their character and mindset. Perhaps they are projecting their insecurities, or maybe they are simply not aware of the harm they're causing. Either way, their words don't define you. The key here is detachment. By refusing to let their words affect you emotionally, you take away their power. In a sense, you choose to not feel harmed. This doesn't mean you condone their behavior, or that you ignore the pain their words may cause. It means you acknowledge that their criticism is about them, not about you. You can choose to let it pass without internalizing it, like water flowing off a stone. Reframing their words is a simple yet profound shift. Instead of feeling diminished, recognize that their comments say more about their limitations than yours. By practicing this mindset, you protect your self-worth from being undermined by others' negativity. Step 2. Stay calm and collected. When you're belittled by someone close to you, your immediate reaction might be to defend yourself, retaliate, or react with anger. However, Stoicism teaches us the immense power of remaining calm and composed, even in the face of provocation. The key here is not to suppress your emotions, but to control them so that they don't dictate your behavior. Imagine a situation where someone makes a dismissive comment about something you've worked hard on. Instead of reacting emotionally, whether through anger, defensiveness, or frustration, take a deep breath and choose to remain composed. You might respond with a simple, non-confrontational statement like, "I see your point." This is a way of acknowledging their comment without agreeing with it or letting it affect you. By choosing to stay calm, you avoid escalating the situation and maintain your emotional balance. In some cases, no response at all can be the most powerful reaction. When you refrain from engaging with belittling remarks, you don't give them the opportunity to spark further conflict. It shows that you're not bothered by their words. When you respond calmly, you show strength, not through outward confrontation, but through inner peace. This doesn't mean you're passive or weak. It means you've chosen to rise above the situation and protect your emotional well-being. By staying calm, you maintain your dignity and prevent their belittling from disrupting your inner peace. Step 3. Set boundaries without losing serenity. Setting boundaries is an essential part of maintaining your emotional well-being, especially when faced with constant belittlement. Stoicism does not teach us to tolerate abuse or to passively accept mistreatment. In fact, part of building inner strength is learning to assert yourself in a calm, measured way when necessary. The key is to set those boundaries while remaining serene, rather than allowing the situation to escalate into an emotional confrontation. One way to do this is by calmly expressing your needs. For example, if someone belittles you, you might say, "I prefer if we could speak respectfully." This is a clear yet composed way of communicating that you won't accept disrespect, without letting the conversation become a conflict. Another phrase could be, "Let's discuss this when we're both calmer." This not only sets a boundary, but also suggests a solution, giving both parties the space needed to address the issue with a clearer, more constructive mindset. Remember, Stoicism encourages us to protect our peace, and part of that involves standing firm in our personal boundaries. By calmly but assertively expressing what is acceptable to you, you take control of the situation in a way that doesn't compromise your inner serenity. It's important to convey that while you respect the other person, you won't allow your worth or feelings to be undermined. Stoicism isn't about accepting negativity silently. It's about navigating challenges with wisdom and clarity. By setting boundaries, you assert your own dignity and create an environment where respect is mutual, all while preserving your calm and composure. You don't need to react in anger or frustration to stand up for yourself. You simply need to state your boundaries clearly and with confidence. Step 4. Practice indifference. One of the most powerful Stoic concepts to practice when dealing with belittlement is apatheia, or freedom from destructive emotions. The Stoics believe that we should strive to be indifferent to the things that are beyond our control, including the negative words and actions of others. Apatheia is not about being cold or detached in a harmful way. It's about cultivating the ability to rise above external disturbances and maintain inner peace. When someone belittles you, it's easy to fall into emotional turmoil, anger, sadness, frustration, or self-doubt. But Stoicism teaches us to pause and reflect before reacting emotionally. Ask yourself questions like, why does this bother me? And am I allowing an external judgment to cloud my reason? These simple questions help shift your focus from the external stimulus, the belittling comment, to your internal reaction. The goal is to recognize that you have the power to decide whether or not to let their words affect you. Their words, harsh or dismissive as they may be, only hold power over you if you allow them to. You have the ability to detach emotionally from their insults. When you practice apatheia, you stop viewing their criticism as a personal attack and instead see it for what it is, a reflection of their own issues, not your worth. Their judgments are external, and Stoics remind us that the only judgment that matters is the one we place upon ourselves. By practicing indifference, you free yourself from the emotional chaos that others may try to impose on you. You reclaim your peace by recognizing that their words can't diminish your value unless you let them. This is the heart of Stoic resilience. Learning to stay unshaken in the face of external negativity and protecting your inner tranquility regardless of what's happening around you. Turning the challenge into growth. Every challenging situation offers an opportunity for growth, especially when it comes to dealing with belittlement. The Stoics viewed every hardship as a chance to practice virtue, and this mindset can transform even the most painful encounters into stepping stones towards self-improvement. As Seneca wisely said, "What progress have I made? I am beginning to be my own friend." This insight highlights the idea that, in the face of adversity, we can either retreat into bitterness or use the challenge to deepen our understanding of ourselves and our virtues. When someone belittles you, instead of focusing on the harm or unfairness of their words, try to view the situation as a chance to practice Stoic virtues like patience, resilience, and humility. Patience, because you allow their words to pass without letting them affect your emotional state. Resilience, because you stay firm in your convictions and protect your sense of self-worth. Humility, because you recognize that the belittling remarks may not be about you at all, but about the other person's struggles or limitations. If their belittling continues, don't see it as a personal attack, but as an opportunity to strengthen your character. Stoics believe that we should not be afraid of challenges. Instead, we should embrace them as opportunities to build our inner fortitude. By staying steadfast and unshaken in the face of repeated criticism, you are developing the very virtues that Stoicism encourages us to embody. The key here is to turn every moment of conflict into a lesson in self-mastery. When you respond to belittlement with calm, patience, and strength, you're not just protecting your peace, you're actively cultivating your character. By doing so, you begin to transform the challenge itself into a means of personal growth. You become your own friend, showing yourself the kindness, patience, and respect that others may fail to give. And in the end, it's this internal growth that defines your true strength. Consider their perspective, but don't internalize it. One of the most profound ways to protect yourself from the emotional toll of constant belittlement is to try to understand where the other person is coming from. Often, those who belittle others are acting out of their own insecurities, fears, or unresolved pain. They may be projecting their frustrations or vulnerabilities onto you, even though you are not the cause of their distress. While this does not excuse their behavior or give them the right to treat you poorly, recognizing that their actions are rooted in their own struggles can help you detach emotionally and prevent their words from affecting your peace of mind. When you pause to consider their perspective, you're not just excusing them. You're taking a step back and understanding the bigger picture. This doesn't mean you should tolerate their mistreatment, but it allows you to respond with a sense of compassion rather than reacting with anger or resentment. Perhaps they're struggling with their own sense of self-worth, or they're dealing with unresolved issues that manifest in hurtful words. In this way, their belittling comments reflect more about their internal world than about you. However, while it's helpful to understand their perspective, it's crucial that you don't internalize their negativity. Their insecurities, fears, or frustrations are theirs to deal with, not yours. If you let their words seep into your mind and let them define your self-worth, you give them control over your emotions. Instead, recognize that their judgment does not determine who you are, and that their inability to express themselves with respect is a reflection of their own struggle. By practicing empathy without internalizing their negativity, you protect your own sense of value and shield yourself from the harmful effects of their words. You can still respond with kindness or understanding, but you don't allow their issues to become your own. This approach allows you to maintain your peace and rise above the toxicity of others, all while embracing the Stoic ideal of viewing the world through a lens of compassion and detachment. When to walk away. In some cases, despite your best efforts to stay calm, set boundaries, and practice empathy, the belittling persists. When this happens, the Stoic wisdom of knowing when to walk away becomes essential. Walking away isn't about anger or defeat. It's about maintaining your self-respect and protecting your peace. Stoicism teaches us that while we can control how we respond to others, we are not obligated to remain in situations that continually undermine our well-being. As Marcus Aurelius wisely reminds us in Meditations, it never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. This powerful statement speaks to the heart of the issue. Why do we allow the opinions of others to carry so much weight, especially when they harm us? If someone's constant belittling is taking a toll on your self-esteem or emotional health, it's not a failure to walk away. It's an act of self-respect. By removing yourself from the situation, you are choosing to prioritize your peace over engaging in a toxic dynamic that only serves to diminish you. Walking away, as the Stoics would argue, is a practice of detachment. It's not about rejecting the person or harboring resentment, but rather about asserting your boundaries and protecting your inner tranquility. You don't need to tolerate negativity just because someone else refuses to respect your worth. In these moments, distancing yourself allows you to preserve your dignity and continue to live according to your values, free from the corrosive influence of belittling words. Ultimately, walking away can be an empowering choice, a demonstration of your commitment to your own self-respect. You are not defined by others' opinions, and by choosing to disengage, you affirm your Stoic commitment to inner peace and strength. Belittlement, especially from those closest to us, can feel overwhelming. It shakes us to our core and challenges our sense of self-worth. But let me remind you of something incredibly important. Your worth isn't up for debate. It's not defined by the opinions of others or by the hurtful words they may speak. Your value is rooted in your character, in your actions, and in the way you choose to respond to life's challenges. No matter how others try to diminish you, you have the power to stand tall, hold your ground, and protect your inner peace. Remember, you are not defined by what others say or do. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that external circumstances and opinions could only affect us if we allowed them to. When you choose to live in accordance with your values, when you prioritize your inner strength over external validation, you create a life of true resilience. No one can take that from you unless you give them permission to. So, as you move forward, remember that every moment of belittlement is an opportunity to strengthen your character. It's a chance to practice patience, to assert your boundaries, and to grow in emotional wisdom. And with each challenge, you become more attuned to your true self. If you found this helpful, share it with someone facing a similar challenge. Together, we can learn to face life's struggles with strength and grace. By supporting one another, We empower ourselves and others to navigate these difficulties in a way that aligns with our deepest values. Let's continue to grow, to rise, and to face whatever comes our way with the wisdom of the Stoics and the courage to live with integrity.